Hello guys, welcome to High Cloud's YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about 3D printing, rapid prototyping, additive manufacturing, etc. So 3D printing simply means that a 3D printer can automatically make an object out of a CAD model that can be designed in your laptop, computer or desktop. The CAD model is basically sliced in a slicing software. Slicing means the 3D CAD object can be virtually sliced into multiple horizontal layers, and this is exported as a G-code file. G-code file basically acts like an instruction for the 3D printer to automatically print that object. This video sample shows how a FDM 3D printer would print an object. So as you can see, one layer is being printed at a time, and on top of that another layer is printed. The yellow portion you see is the infill. As you can see, infill is not actually the object. It is used to fill the void inside the object. This is an FDM 3D printer. The filament is fed to this extruder. The extruder then melts it and forms the object by printing it one layer at a time. So this is a fidget spinner that I made using a 3D printer, which is Creality Ender 3. You can print even flexible objects. So the CAD object can be made using softwares like Tinkercad, SelfCAD, SolidWorks, and there are other softwares as well. So the CAD file can be in form of let's say .obj format, .stl format, and there are other formats as well. So this CAD file goes through slicing process, and once slicing is complete, we can export a G-code file, and this G-code file is then fed to the 3D printer. And no matter what form of 3D printing technique you are using, these three steps are universal for all forms of 3D printing. 3D designing, then slicing, and then feeding it to the 3D printer. For 3D designing and CAD, I prefer to use SelfCAD because it is very easy to use and very suitable for beginners. SelfCAD has an inbuilt slicer, so it's basically a one-stop solution to all your 3D printing needs. You can even design the CAD model and then slice it within the same software. This here is an FDM 3D printer. The filament is fed to the extruder. Extruder comprises of a reservoir and heater. The melted filament is stored in the tiny reservoir, and the melted filament is poured down through the extruder. This diagram explains the slicing mechanism. The filament is fed to the extruder, it is melted, and extruder prints one layer at a time. As you can see, the extruder is extruding out the melted filament. So it is printing one layer at a time. Soon as the melted filament is extruded, it solidifies instantly. The temperature of the bed could be 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, and the extruder could be 200, 190, depending on what filament you are using. So this is a gear that I was printing. It is not completely hollow. It has some amount of infill that I defined during slicing process. So you must be wondering, what if gravity pulls down the object? Well, it is obviously possible. So whenever there is possibility of an overhang, we add support into the object. It is we don't need to manually add it. We just need to define it while we are slicing the object. The gray portion here is the support. This support keeps the object together while it is being printed. Once the object is printed, you can even remove the support by plying it out, or if you use multiple filament FDM printer, you can even use multiple materials. So in this case, you can use PVA, which can be used as a support material, and when dissolved in water, the support simply melts off. So there is no need of the time consuming support removal process which you would have to do manually. This dual filament techniques makes it very easy to print complex designs such as this one. Basically, it saved you time. You don't have to waste hours manually removing each and every support. One very simple way to understand how FDM 3D printers work. Look at this. The example of cake pipe frosting. The icing of the cake is in melted form, which we extrude. Very similar technique is used in 3D printing pens. 3D printing pen extrude the filament. It could be PLA, ABS, depending on which filament you are choosing. And in 3D printing, every single step is automatic. So this is what I love about automation. Every single step is taken care by the 3D printer itself, and we humans don't have to worry about anything. So there are three main types of 3D printing: FDM, SLA and SLS. In SLA, photopolymer resin is used, and in SLS, polymer powder is used. In SLA 3D printing, the laser selectively fuses the resin, and the areas that are fused are the actual object. Once one layer is fused, the bed moves up by few decimal of millimeters and another layer is fused on top of the existing layer. SLS is also very similar. In SLS 3D printing, the polymer powder is filled in the reservoir and the laser is used to fuse the polymer powder. The roller places a thin layer of polymer powder on the bed. The powder is placed on top of the existing layer and the next layer is printed. Now you must have noticed that no support is required here. It's simply air blowing the excess particles. SLS is the best form of 3D printing if you are, let's say, making an actual object for industrial use. Sugar can even be used for 3D printing. Using SLS techniques, the powdered sugar is placed on the bed. First layer is fused. Probably water is used to make it. And one layer is fused at a time according to the design that is fed as a G-code file. This whole cube is edible. Excess sugar particles is blown using a blower. There comes a sugar candy inside it. There are even multi-purpose 3D printers in market. For example, this one. It can not only 3D print, but it can also do CNC engraving and laser engraving and all. So 3D printing can be done using liquid resin, polymer powder, filaments. Filaments come in different types. It could be PLA, ABS, TPU, glow in the dark and even more. You can even 3D print using chocolate chips. The best part about FDM 3D printing is that there are numerous types of filaments: granite, concrete, terracotta, pottery clay, even wood. All this can be used for 3D printing. Bronze, steel, iron, copper are some of the metals that can also be used for 3D printing. But the best one that I like is SLS 3D printing, because even minute details can be 3D printed. Just look at this flexible SLS notebook. Flexible material is also available for SLS 3D printing, and very minute details can also be achieved with SLS 3D printing. This is the flexible form of SLS material which is used. This right here is a DIY FDM 3D printer. It's Creality Ender 3. All of the components had to be assembled, and this was quite easy. They had given all the instruction in the instruction manual, But if you have any doubt, any problem, you can always ask us. Drop the comment below, or you can even submit any inquiry on our website. This one is one of the most affordable 3D printer available in the market right now. It's very easy to use as well. You can use Cura for slicing or even SelfCAD for slicing. As you can see, this 200 degrees Celsius shows the temperature of the extruder. 60 degrees Celsius, this is the temperature of the bed. And 100% is the speed of the fan that's around the extruder. These are few of the toys that I had printed. This is a T-Rex. This right here is a T-Rex that I had printed. This is just a toy. Like you can see, it is movable as well. SelfCAD software is widely used in schools as well. Organic modeling, hard surface modeling, everything can be done in SelfCAD. You can even render and animate in SelfCAD. So I parked this virtual Cybertruck in a parking garage. You can render it any possible way. There are a variety of backgrounds available in SelfCAD, and for rendering you can even render it with transparent background. 3D printing is used in almost every industry you can think of, be it fashion industry or in biology, medical science. For reverse engineering an object, you can even 3D scan that object and modify it, then 3D print it. A 3D scanner can scan the object from every single angle and generate a OBJ file or STL file for it. This can then further be modified using a CAD software, and after slicing it, it can even be 3D printed. That's it for this video. We hope you like this. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And before you go, I would suggest you to take a quiz. So to take the quiz, visit our website at highclouds.co and click this quiz. You can take this quiz and test your knowledge on rapid prototyping. That's it for the video. Goodbye.